Welcome to Hive Mind, my beautiful people. This is the speaker. I'm here with the Sharp Edge. What's happening?
Hey, glad
We
to be
just,
here.
yeah, we just want to go over this article quickly because I'm a little bit late on it, but I think we should talk about it because it shows you the hypocrisy of these big tech companies and where the problems really lie at the moment. So, Twitter sued by survivor of child sexual exploitation. The filing alleges Twitter didn't take appropriate action until it was conducted by a federal agent. Now, a minor boy and his mother are suing Twitter, alleging that it benefited from a neglected to remove an exploitative video featuring him and another minor, which was retweeted thousands of times and at least 167,000 views on the platform. That's massive. They didn't do
Wow.
anything about it. It's these big tech companies are the problem. But of course, they're not gonna say it. They're gonna keep going after old tech because they don't have any. Old tech doesn't have any senators in their pocket. You know what I mean?
Right. And it seems like Twitter and big tech in general have been really targeting places like Gab or other alt tech platforms and saying much the same thing, making much the same allegations towards these alt tech platforms when it really seems like they've got to clean house within.
Well, most of the CP on the internet goes through the dark web, but on a mainstream media platform, it goes through Facebook. It's like 94% of the surface web CP gets traded through Facebook,
Disgusting.
right? But and then look at okay, so the biggest grooming platform is Instagram because there's a lot of kids on Instagram. That's the biggest grooming platform. Facebook, we've seen live killings, live shootings. We saw the New Zealand massacre, right? That was all streamed through Facebook, right? On Twitter, we see all this hate, conduct. We see Antifa accounts that have just recently got banned because the Democrats don't need them anymore. So it
Right.
like these big tech companies are the problem, man. It's it just blows my mind. It blows my mind to say, but yet they'll go after small companies like BitChute, Minds, and Gab. It's insane.
Yeah, a lot of virtue signaling coming from big tech when in fact they are a major, major part of the problem.
They are the problem, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like, so let's read through this a little bit more. Announced on Wednesday, the federal lawsuit claims that the minor, John Doe, name not mentioned, and his mother repeatedly contacted Twitter about the content, but the social media giant allegedly didn't suspend accounts distributing it until a federal agent from the Department of Homeland Security intervened. So, according to the filing, one or multiple traffickers tricked the boy into providing explicit images to a Snapchat account he was led to believe belonged to a 16-year-old girl. After obtaining the explicit content, the traffickers allegedly blackmailed the boy into providing the video that ultimately spread on Twitter.
Wow. I read that he was somewhere between the ages of 13 and 14 at the time that the photos and images were taken. So, I mean, it's just really disturbing.
And anyone that has been on Twitter for any significant amount of time and we're in our sort of circle where we did a lot of independent journalism, where we tried to look for this stuff. There was a group, I'm pretty sure they were called the Dragon's Den, and they used to do this consistently. The job of what Twitter wasn't doing, what the cops weren't doing. I think there was about 10 or 20 of them, and they would find these accounts and they would report them to Twitter, and they would do this continuously for years. And instead of these accounts getting taken down, members of the Dragons Den were getting their accounts suspended and taken off, and not the other accounts, not the actual CP accounts, but all these people had to keep coming back on, making new accounts just to expose this stuff. And Twitter did nothing. Twitter was doing nothing back then.
too busy worried about thought police and uh, dangerous ideologies like MAGA, I suppose.
Hmm. It's just crazy, man. And I felt really bad for that group because they were doing some really good work. And they used to bring out like a lot of good videos about teaching you how to report these people, and they would report them to the local cops and stuff as well. So they were doing like a real valiant job here, but Twitter didn't care. So I'm glad they're getting hit for something like that. So they should.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's how you hit them is with lawsuits. Like, there's a lot of lawsuits actually going on lately, it seems, against big tech, not just for this particular situation, but also for monopolization of things and working together in coordination to target competitors.
Hmm. So it says here, Twitter has a zero tolerance for any material that features or promotes child sexual exploitation. We aggressively fight online child sexual abuse and have heavily invested in technology and tools to enforce our policy, and that is a lie. Our dedicated teams work to stay ahead of bad faith actors, it's a lie, and to ensure we're doing everything we can to remove content, that's a lie. Otherwise, you wouldn't get contacted by the DHS after months of this still being up. Facilitate investigations and protect minors from harm both on and offline. No, you do none of that.
No, apparently not. And they got busted. So I hope they get hit with the massive, massive amounts.
So
And
they
so,
should. So they should, man.
yeah.
But yet, I get kicked off uh, for telling someone to, go 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 f themselves. It seems to be common.
Exactly. See, they're more interested in thought police and using words than protecting kids. It's priorities for them.
Hmm. But their politics and ideology comes first instead of anything. But this is what we get through these virtue signaling companies, ideologies, platforms. They don't really care about people. They pretend like they care about people, right? But when it actually comes down to the nitty gritty, I mean, it was the same thing. I don't know if you remember, but when Trump cracked down on Backpage, a place that was soliciting minors, that was really heavy when it came to child exploitation and child prostitution. And when he did that, you had women's marches going on, marching that prostitution is an honest job and they should work. They didn't care about the underlying reason why he did that.
Can you can you imagine? It's funny. Anything that he said, they had to come and make a counterclaim to. So they had to try to find a way to spin it and say, this is a women's rights issue, and this is women's empowerment. How disgusting! How sick! Because you have to know and understand that a lot of these women um, could be minors, were minors. Also, you have to understand that they're trafficked and treated like slaves in a lot of ways. So it's really disgusting to try to justify it in that kind of way.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, you're saying down here, both minors right now, were minors at the time of the video taking, were both 13 years of age.
Yeah.
167,000 views. That is a lot of views within a
Right.
day. Within
Right.
a day.
Yeah, and even while it was being viewed on, say, Twitter, it could have been snagged off of that and spread elsewhere.
Oh,
So
definitely.
there's really no way of even measuring at this point.
Mm,
And every time a victim has it's almost like when they're victimized over and over again because the act itself was traumatizing for them, but then to have it repeatedly shown over and over and over again on social media and other platforms, that re-victimizes them. And so just the amount of trauma that this kid went through, to have that online everywhere. I can't imagine it. I feel this child's pain.
Yeah, and with the internet, these things don't go away easily, if at all. I mean, these people are predators that view this sort of stuff and lock this sort of stuff away. I mean, they'll keep it, they'll take it offline, they'll put it on a USB, they'll trade it on underground sites, and it will always be in circulation now. So it's a
Exactly.
horrible thing. And considering Twitter left it up that long, I mean, they should have a whole department focusing on things like that when you have a social media platform that is so big. But of course, that they don't. But they do have a whole social media probably team to eradicate wrong think.
Yep, exactly. That's the point, is that their priorities are so out of whack. This should be the top priority when it's obviously not, and you can clearly see by the massive amounts of people, of accounts that have been kicked off of Twitter, what they have prioritized. And it's those that are politically not aligned with their agenda. And so it really is just to maintain a sense of groupthink, one ideology, one type of group of people who all think similarly, and the rest are these outcasts who um, don't think that way, and who in their minds, they want to label as domestic terrorists just for having different thoughts and different political views. It's
Mhm.
insanity. But these are their priorities, not eradicating child exploitation, child pornography, particularly on their own sites.
They really don't care, and they've shown they don't care. And they've shown they're so hypocritical when it comes to other platforms. And it's got nothing to do with being worried about what's on those platforms and trying to be some sort of godly protector. It is simply to shut down freedom of speech, shut down different ideologies, shut down people from working together, collaborating together, and creating something better. These big tech monopolies are going to keep hammering them. So, uh, we're on old tech now. We're going to build that up. We're going to keep building that up. And I'm hoping a lot more of these lawsuits get smacked in their face. And I think they will, because I think they've done a lot of shady shit that we probably don't know about yet. I haven't even seen lawsuits for yet. I guarantee you they've got a filing cabinet of lawsuits that are probably coming at them.
This is how we have to go after them. If no other way, then this, hitting them where it counts, where it hurts them the most, and just flooding them with lawsuits on various different things, and especially this.
100%.
Well, we got to break up big tech. They're too powerful. They have an evil agenda, and they have a monopoly. We've
They're evil.
got to break them up in order to ensure the free will of the people. And we've seen how powerful they are in controlling um, ideologies, controlling perception, controlling elections. It's just massive, their reach and their ability to have control of the public that way. And it's in my opinion, it's a threat to national security. It's a threat um, to humanity when you look at it, because of the power that they have over and the control that they have. So
Yeah, well said.
we've got to find every way possible to fight back.
And we will. So keep the faith, people. We just wanted to talk to you about this quickly because we were talking about it, so we thought we'd share that with you as well. What are we working on podcast this week, Edge? Not sure yet.
We're still tossing around ideas.
Still tossing around. We'll work it out. Drop some down below. We definitely take them on board, but we get some really good ones sometimes. I'm like, wow, we're gonna have to really study on that. So, we will see you soon. All of you stay beautiful. This is the speaker. Stay ravenous.